You know, there's been a question I've been getting the last week or two quite a bit, and I have been avoiding answering it. Just deliberately avoiding it. Not because I'm afraid people will get upset with me for my opinion. I think you all know that never has stopped me in the past. I've been avoiding answering it because I'm really not sure how to answer it. But I've gotten it so much that I think I should take the time and answer it as best I can. Now, the question I've been being asked is, what do I think of President Trump involving himself in the military discipline case of Gallagher? I forget his first name. I think it's Eddie Gallagher. He's the Navy SEAL, got into a lot of trouble, taking selfies with dead bodies or something like that. But people are like, how do you feel about the commander-in-chief getting involved in this? People are like, oh, it's unprecedented, blah, blah, blah. Well, he is the commander-in-chief. He is in charge of our military. But I don't believe a commander-in-chief should be involved at this level. I don't think they should be involved in the disciplinary process at all. That's not their job. I feel that way about most presidents. I especially feel that way about a president like Trump, Mr. Billionaire Bone Spurs, that's never served a day in his life and doesn't understand anything about discipline or honor or military directive or anything. So I don't think he has a place in it, period. I think he should just keep his big nose out of it. Now, I think everyone knows I'm not a Trump supporter or a Trump detractor. I think that's why they're asking me what I think about this. When Trump does something I like, I say, yay, he did something I like. When he does something I don't like, I say, boo. Like when he says shitty stuff about gun laws, I'm like, boo, Trump. And I like the tariffs. I know that's not a popular opinion with a lot of people, but I like the tariffs. A lot of people are like, but Americans are paying it and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and we need to. Rebuilding our manufacturing base in this country is going to take a little bit of a sacrifice. And if you got to pay 2 cents more on that cheap t-shirt you buy, or 2% more on, some other product, do it. We have to rebuild our manufacturing base. We have to rebuild our middle class. And plus, we keep sending all of our money to China. They're going to become the #1 military power in the world, allied with Russia, and we're going to be under their fucking boot heel. So, yeah, let's sacrifice a little bit to rebuild our own structure here, our own manufacturing base. So, I agree with tariffs. Like I said, I know it's not popular. But like I said, I think the president should keep his nose out of this stuff. But do I agree with the outcome of him getting involved? That's where it gets really complicated. And that's why I don't know exactly how I feel, because it's kind of one of those ends justifies the means situations, but I haven't really decided if the ends is what I want or the means are justifiable, if that makes any sense to anybody. Because I do think there are certain circumstances right now that need to be addressed. Did this guy do something wrong? Yeah, I believe wholeheartedly he did. Did he behave improperly? Did he behave a little bit violently? And, the taking pictures with corpses, that's kind of twisted. That would mean he would probably need some help as far as I'm concerned. But I do think he deserved to be demoted. But I don't think he deserved to be kicked out of the military or stripped of all of his benefits or anything like that, have his trident taken away. I just don't think that was necessary or would have been necessary. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand the needs for discipline and for honor in the military. Anyone who's ever been in the military knows the only thing that separates, soldiers from assassins is discipline and honor and military conduct, the rules of conduct. So I understand the importance, and I understand people need to be punished. I would be okay with him being court-martialed. But I don't want to go beyond that, because here's the thing. We keep putting our soldiers, and we're in a situation now where we've never been in before with the military, where we have consistently and continuously put our soldiers in horrific conditions where they're battling an enemy that isn't another army that also follows some sort of rules. They're battling zealots and people that are basically fucking animals in the worst situations they could possibly be in. And we've put them over there decade after decade after decade, multiple tours. It's just been brutal to the soldiers. And you put them in these impossible situations, these horrific situations, and after you leave them there for 10 years, you start to be upset that they start to act a little bit horrifically themselves. Well, it's kind of to be expected. I think you put too much pressure on them when you want to come down with them with a hammer when they do something wrong. We have to start taking care of the reasons why they're doing something wrong. And like I say, I understand why we do have to discipline them. We've gotten into a bad situation now. You see on the news all the time now, when you read the Military Times, you see all the time now, where entire units of special forces, entire special forces units, Navy SEALs, etc., are having to be pulled out of theater because their behavior has degraded to a level to where the military is like, we can no longer reliably field these people and be sure that they're not going to do something disgusting to embarrass us and violate, military protocol. So we have to pull them back and retrain them because they've degraded to a level that is below our lowest acceptable standard. That isn't happening because we're getting worse soldiers now than ever. It's because of the circumstances we've been putting them under. And because a lot of the field commanders and stuff have been saying, I'm going to give them a little leeway because they're dealing with monsters all day long. So we've put ourselves in an impossible situation. We've put our soldiers in impossible situations. I would not have wanted to face the things our soldiers face today. Would not want to do it. Period. I can't guarantee I wouldn't do something awful if I was, stuck in over there for 10 years fighting people who want to kill me just because I'm an American or because I'm not a Muslim or whatever. So I couldn't imagine it. So I do think there has to be some leeway, but I do believe in discipline. I do believe in the rule of order. I do believe in honor amongst our soldiers. So when someone does something dishonorable or does something against the rules, I do believe in punishing them. But I think we kind of have to take a step back and say, are we partially to blame for what they did, or is it all them? I personally think right now it's us too, and especially politicians who have put them in this situation where they've been fighting for decades in wars they shouldn't be in, over ideologies we don't even believe in. So I just don't agree with what the military's been forced to do. I don't agree with the circumstances they've been put in, but I also have to believe in chain of command and discipline and honor, etc. So that's why I can't really decide, did it work out the way I wanted to? And am I okay with the president getting involved? Even though I think no president should get involved, especially not, like I said, Mr. Billionaire Bone Spurs, Donald Trump, who knows nothing about the military. He's never served a day in his life and doesn't even care to learn, I'm pretty sure. So I don't think he should be involved. But I would have also been very upset if they had thrown this guy away and, thrown away the key, locked him up and thrown away the key. I'd have been really upset by that too. So as you can see, that's where I've got the little bit of an issue here. So even though I don't agree with Trump getting involved, I do think we are in a bad situation, and the military has to start making some changes, and politicians have to start making some changes. And until then, we're going to find ourselves in lots of situations where we have to step back, take things into account, understand that we have some certain special circumstances now, and deal with them as they come.
Oops.
Go ahead.
Accepted to the lady at 46 South Road. 46 South Road.
Station one call, retone that please. 10-4. Captain 4 to go to that location also. This is 1-9, is that correct?